How many years have you been studying English? 2 years, 5 years, maybe 10. You bought the books, you downloaded the apps, you watched the videos. You memorized the grammar rules, you made the flashcards, and yet, the moment someone speaks to you in English, your mind goes blank. Your heart beats fast. Your mouth opens, nothing comes out, or maybe something comes out. A few broken words, a sentence that falls apart in the middle, and then the silence. That long, painful silence that makes you want to disappear. You know this feeling, I know you do. Here is what I want to say to you today. The problem is not your intelligence. The problem is not your memory. The problem is not that you started too late or that English is too hard for you. The problem is something much simpler. And once you see it clearly, everything changes. Today, I am going to give you a system, a real practical system. Not a list of apps to download, not another grammar lesson. A system that uses AI tools, especially ChatGPT, to help you practice speaking English every single day. This lesson is for English learners who are tired of studying without results. It is time to start speaking. By the end of this lesson, you will have 7 methods. 7 clear, actionable ways to open your mouth, build your confidence, and make English speaking a daily habit. Not someday, starting today. So stay with me. This is going to be different. Let me ask you one more question before we begin. When was the last time you actually spoke English out loud, not in your head, not reading silently? Out loud with your real voice forming real sentences? For many people, the honest answer is not recently, maybe not in weeks, maybe not in months. And that is the real problem, not your vocabulary, not your grammar, the silence, the long, uncomfortable silence between you and the English language. Speaking is a skill, like swimming. Like driving a car, you cannot learn it by reading about it. You cannot learn it by watching others do it. You have to do it yourself. Badly at first, slowly at first, but you have to do it. Today, that silence ends. Lesson 1. The real problem is not your vocabulary. Let me tell you about a student. She had studied English for 6 years. 6 years of classes, textbooks, and grammar exercises. She knew over 2,000 words. She could read an English newspaper and understand most of it. She could write a decent email in English. But when her foreign colleague said, "Hey, can we talk for a minute?" her mind went completely blank. She forgot words she had known for years, simple words. Words like meeting and a schedule and a sorry. They were gone, just gone. She came to me frustrated. She said, "I know so much English. Why can't I speak it?" I told her the truth. Knowing English and speaking English are 2 completely different skills. Think about swimming. You can read every book about swimming. You can study the technique. You can watch Olympic swimmers for hours. You can memorize the exact movements of every stroke. But the moment you jump into the water, your body does not know what to do. Because reading about swimming and actually swimming are not the same thing. Speaking English is the same. Your brain stores vocabulary in one place, but speaking requires something different. It requires your brain to find the word, form the sentence, move your mouth, control your breathing, and respond to another person, all at the same time in less than 1 second. That is not a knowledge problem. that is a muscle problem. Speaking is a muscle. And like every muscle, it gets stronger only when you use it, not when you study it. Not when you think about it, when you actually use it. Here is the hard truth. Most English learners spend 90% of their time on input, reading, listening, studying, and almost zero time on output, on actually opening their mouth and making sounds. You cannot build a muscle by watching someone else lift weights. You build it by lifting yourself. So when students tell me I need to learn more vocabulary before I start speaking, I always say the same thing. You don't need more words. You need more reps. That is the first lesson, and it changes everything. Because once you accept that speaking is a muscle, not a knowledge test, you stop waiting until you are ready. You start training imperfectly, awkwardly, but consistently. The student I told you about, she stopped studying more grammar. She started speaking every day, even badly. 3 months later, she had her first full English conversation at work. Not perfect, but real. That is what happens when you train the muscle. You don't need more words, you need more reps. Lesson 2. Why ChatGPT is the perfect speaking partner. Now you understand the problem. Speaking is a muscle. You need reps. You need to open your mouth every day and practice. But here is the next problem most people run into. Who do you practice with? Maybe you live in a city where English is not spoken around you. Maybe you do not have foreign friends or colleagues. Maybe you have a teacher, but only 1 hour per week. 1 hour per week is not enough, not even close. Or maybe you have someone to practice with, but you feel embarrassed. You feel scared to make mistakes in front of them. You worry they will judge you. You worry they will lose patience. You stay quiet instead. I understand that feeling completely, and I want to tell you something important. That fear is costing you your fluency. Every time you stay silent because you are afraid to make a mistake, you are choosing comfort over progress. And comfort never built a skill. This is exactly where ChatGPT changes everything. ChatGPT is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It does not sleep. It does not have other plans. It does not get tired or bored or impatient. You can practice at midnight. You can practice at 5 in the morning. Whenever you are ready, it is there. ChatGPT never judges you. This is one of the most powerful things about it. You can write broken English. You can make the same mistake 10 times. You can say something completely wrong. ChatGPT will not laugh. It will not sigh. It will simply help you every single time. And ChatGPT gives you feedback instantly. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. You write a sentence. You ask if it sounds natural. In 3 seconds, you have an answer and a better version. Think about what that means for your practice. In a traditional class, you speak for maybe 5 minutes out of 60. The rest of the time, you listen to your teacher or your classmates. 5 minutes of speaking per hour. That is not training. That is warming up. With ChatGPT, you can speak, write, respond, and get corrected for 60 minutes straight if you want. The volume of practice is completely different. There is one thing I want to be clear about, though. ChatGPT is a tool. It is a mirror. It shows you your mistakes and helps you fix them. But it does not speak for you. It does not build your confidence for you. You still have to do the work. You still have to open your mouth You still have to show up. The difference is that now you have a partner who is always ready, always patient, always honest. That changes everything for a learner who is serious. You don't need more words, you need more reps. And now you have a partner who will give you unlimited reps anytime you want. That is a powerful thing. Use it. Lesson 3, the daily speaking journal. Now we get practical. The first method I want to give you is called the daily speaking journal. It is the simplest method in this lesson. It is also one of the most powerful, and you can start tonight. Here is how it works. Every evening before you go to sleep, you open ChatGPT. You write 5 to 10 sentences about your day, just your day. What happened, what you did, what you felt, what you ate, who you talked to. Simple, real things from your real life. Then you write one sentence to ChatGPT. Please correct my English and make it more natural. That is it. That is the whole method. But let me explain why this works so well. Most English practice is disconnected from real life. You practice sentences like, the cat is on the table, or she goes to school every day. These sentences are correct, but they are not your life. Your brain does not care deeply about sentences that have nothing to do with you. When you write about your own day, your own feelings, your own experiences, your brain pays attention differently. It connects the language to something real, something personal, and that connection makes the learning stick. Let me show you an example. You write, today I go to the market and I buy some vegetables. It was very hot and I feel tired when I come back home. ChatGPT corrects it. Today I went to the market and bought some vegetables. It was very hot and I felt tired when I got back home. You read the correction. You notice the pattern. Past tense verbs. Went, not go. Bought, not buyed. Got back instead of come back. Then you do one more thing. You read your corrected sentences out loud 3 times, not in your head. Out loud with your real voice. This is the step most people skip. Do not skip it. Reading out loud trains your mouth to form the correct sentences. It builds the muscle memory that makes speaking feel natural later. 5 minutes of reading out loud does more for your fluency than 30 minutes of silent reading. After 2 weeks of this practice, something interesting happens. You start thinking in English during your day. You start noticing the words you want to use at the market, at work, at home. Your brain starts preparing the sentences before you even sit down to write them. That is fluency beginning to grow. Start small. 5 sentences tonight, not 10, not 20. 5, 1 paragraph about your day. Ask for corrections, read it out loud. Done. The daily speaking journal takes less than 10 minutes. But done every day, it builds something that years of textbook study could not. Your language, your life, your voice. Lesson 4. Role-play conversations that feel real. The daily speaking journal builds your foundation. It teaches you to express your thoughts in English. But the speaking in real life is different from writing in a journal. In real life, you have to respond. You have to think fast. You have to handle unexpected questions and keep the conversation moving. That is a different kind of pressure. And you need to train for it specifically. This is where role play comes in. Role play means you ask ChatGPT to pretend to be a person in a specific situation. You pretend to be yourself, and then you have a real conversation. Here is the exact prompt you can use right now. Let's role play. You are a hiring manager at a technology company. I am applying for a job as a customer service representative. Please interview me. Ask me one question at a time and wait for my answer. Then ChatGPT becomes the hiring manager. It asks you real interview questions. You answer, it responds. The conversation flows just like a real interview. And here is the key. After the role play is finished, you write one more thing. Please give me feedback on my English. What mistakes did I make? What could I say more naturally? ChatGPT will review everything you wrote and give you a clear, honest report. This is something you simply cannot get anywhere else for free. Let me give you 3 role-play situations that are extremely useful to practice. The first one is a job interview. This is the situation where most people feel the most pressure to speak well. Practice it until it feels comfortable. The second one is ordering food or making a reservation. You are a waiter at a restaurant. I am a customer. I want to order food. Simple, but surprisingly useful. Many people freeze in these everyday situations because they have never actually practiced them. The third one is asking for help or directions. You are a local person in a city. I am a tourist. I am lost and I need help finding the train station. This trains you for travel situations and unexpected real-life conversations. Now, I want to tell you something important about the first time you try role play. It will feel awkward. Your sentences will be slow and broken. You will stop in the middle and not know how to finish. You might feel a little embarrassed even though you are just talking to a machine. That awkwardness is not a sign that you are bad at English. It is a sign that you are learning. Every great speaker went through that exact feeling. The awkwardness does not disappear before you get good. It disappears because you get good. You practice through it, not around it. Do one role play session tonight. Pick the job interview. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Go. You will not be perfect. That is not the point. The point is that you showed up and trained the muscle. That is how fluency is built. One awkward conversation at a time. Lesson 5. The correct my English habit. The third method was about pressure and simulation. This one is about precision. Most people learn English from textbooks and courses designed for everyone. General vocabulary, general grammar, general situations, but your English needs are specific to you. Your job, your relationships, your daily conversations, your goals. The correct my English habit is about learning exactly what you need, not what someone else decided you should learn. Here is how it works. You think of something you want to say in English. Maybe it is something you need to say at work. Maybe it is a message you want to send to someone. Maybe it is a thought you had today that you wanted to express but could not find the right words. You write it down in English as best as you can. Then you open ChatGPT and you type, "Is this natural? How would a native speaker say this?" That is the whole habit. One sentence, one question, one correction. Let me give you a real example. You want to tell your manager that you finished a task, but you found a problem. You write, "I finished the report, but there is a problem I found in the data. You ask ChatGPT, is this natural? How would a native speaker say this? ChatGPT replies, here is a more natural version. I finished the report, but I found an issue with the data. You could also say, I have completed the report, but I noticed a problem in the data. Now you have two professional options. You learn past tense in context. You learn the word issue as an alternative to problem. You learn completed as a formal option. And you learn all of this because you needed it for your real life, not because it was on page 47 of a textbook. That is the difference between passive learning and active learning. Passive learning is absorbing information someone else chose for you. Active learning is finding answers to questions you actually have. Active learning sticks. Passive learning fades. There is one more step that makes this habit even more powerful. After you get the correction, do not just read it and move on. Write the corrected sentence in a notebook, then say it out loud 5 times, then close the notebook and try to say it from memory. That small extra step moves the sentence from your short-term memory into your long-term memory. The next time you're in a real conversation and you need that phrase, it will come out naturally because you trained it. I have seen learners use this habit for just 30 days and completely transform the way they communicate at work. Not because they studied harder, because they studied smarter. They focused on their exact needs, fixed their exact mistakes, and practiced their exact language. 30 days, one sentence at a time, one correction at a time. That is how precision is built. Lesson 6. Think out loud 2 minutes. Every morning, I want to ask you something. What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Most people reach for their phone, they check messages, they scroll through social media, they read the news, they fill their mind with other people's words before they have even said a single word themselves. I want you to try something different. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, before you make coffee, before you do anything else, I want you to speak English out loud for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. Talk about anything. Talk about how you slept. Talk about what you dreamed. Talk about what you plan to do today. Talk about the weather outside your window. It does not matter what you say. What matters is that you say it out loud, in English, with your real voice. Do not worry about mistakes. Do not stop to think about grammar. Do not edit yourself in your head before the words come out. Just open your mouth and let the words come broken or smooth, slow or fast, whatever comes. This is called thinking out loud, and it is one of the most underrated habits for building a speaking fluency. Here is why it works. Your brain has 2 modes when it comes to language. There is the careful editing mode. This is the mode you use when you write an email or study grammar. It is slow and precise. And there is the spontaneous speaking mode. This is the mode you need for real conversations. It is fast and instinctive. Most learners live almost entirely in careful mode. They edit every sentence before it leaves their mouth. They translate from their native language first. They check the grammar in their head. By the time they are ready to speak, the moment has passed. Thinking out loud every morning trains your spontaneous mode. It teaches your brain to produce English without the long pause of editing. It builds the reflex. 2 minutes does not sound like much. But consider this. 2 minutes every day for 1 year is more than 12 hours of a speaking practice. 12 hours of pure, unedited, real speaking. No textbook, no app. Just you and your voice training the muscle every single morning before the rest of the world wakes up. After you finish your 2 minutes, then you use ChatGPT. Type out what you just said as best as you can remember. Ask for corrections. Read the corrected version out loud. This takes maybe 5 more minutes. 7 minutes total before breakfast, 7 minutes a day. That is the morning routine. It sounds almost too simple, but simple is exactly what makes a habit sustainable. You do not need to be motivated to do 7 minutes. You just need to decide. The version of you that speaks English with confidence is not waiting for more knowledge. That version of you is waiting for more mornings like this one. Start tomorrow. 2 minutes, out loud, no editing, no fear, just your voice finding its strength. Lesson 7. The consistency rule. I want to tell you about 2 people. The first person is excited. Every few weeks, when motivation strikes, they sit down for a long, intense study session. 2 hours of English, grammar exercises, vocabulary lists, conversation practice. They work hard and feel good afterward. Then life gets busy. A week passes, 2 weeks, sometimes a month. Then another burst of motivation, another long session, and the cycle repeats. The second person is not always excited. Some days they do not feel like practicing at all. But every single day, without exception, they open their mouth and practice English for 10 minutes. 10 minutes before work, 10 minutes during lunch, 10 minutes before bed. It does not matter when. It happens every day after 6 months. Who speaks better English? The answer is not even close. The second person is not just slightly better. They are completely, dramatically, unrecognizably better. This is not an opinion. This is how the brain works. Your brain builds language skills through a process called myelination. Every time you practice a skill, your brain wraps a thin layer of insulation around the nerve pathways that control that skill. The more you practice, the more layers build up. The more layers build up, the faster and the smoother those pathways become. But myelination requires consistency. It requires repeated activation of the same pathways over time. A single long session activates those pathways once. Daily short sessions activate them 365 times a year. 365 versus 1. That is the difference between occasional and consistent. Your brain does not care how long your sessions are. It cares how often you show up. This is why motivation is the wrong foundation for language learning. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel inspired, some days you feel tired and distracted. If you wait for a motivation, you will practice maybe 30 or 40 times a year. That is not enough. Discipline is different. Discipline is the decision you make once and then you stop deciding. You do not ask yourself every morning, do I feel like practicing today? You already answered that question. The answer is yes. Every day, 10 minutes, done. You don't need more words, you need more reps. and reps only count when they happen every day. So here is the challenge I want to give you. 30 days starting today. Every day for 10 minutes, you practice English with ChatGPT using any method from this lesson. The daily speaking journal, a role play, the correct My English habit, 2 minutes of thinking out loud in the morning, any one of them, just 10 minutes. Do not skip a day. Not because you will ruin everything if you skip, but because every day you show up, you are sending a message to your own brain. You are saying, this is who I am now. This is what I do. I am someone who speaks English every day. Identity is built through action, not intention. After 30 days, you will not just have better English. You will have a new relationship with the language. It will feel less like a subject you are studying and more like a skill that belongs to you. That is the shift. That is what consistency builds. Small. Every day. No exceptions. We have covered a lot today. Let me bring it all together. Lesson 1. The problem is not your vocabulary. Speaking is a muscle. You build it by using it, not by studying it. Lesson 2. ChatGPT is your perfect practice partner. Available always. Patient always. Honest always. Lesson 3. The daily speaking journal. Every evening, 5 sentences about your day. Ask for corrections. Read them out loud. 10 minutes. Done. Lesson 4. Role play conversations. Ask ChatGPT to be a hiring manager, a waiter, a stranger on the street. Practice the situations that make you nervous until they stop making you nervous. Lesson 5. The correct My English habit. Write the sentence you want to say. Ask if it sounds natural. Learn exactly what you need, not what someone else decided for you. Lesson 6. Think out loud every morning. 2 minutes, no editing, no fear, just your voice finding its strengths before the day begins. Lesson 7. The consistency rule. 10 minutes every day beats 2 hours every weekend. Show up small, show up daily, let the compound effect do the rest. 7 lessons, 7 methods. 1 a system. Now I want to say something to you directly. You have been waiting a long time to speak English with confidence. Maybe you have tried before and stopped. Maybe you have felt that fluency is for other people who are smarter or luckier or who started younger. Maybe you have almost given up. I understand that feeling. But I want you to hear this clearly. The version of you that speaks English confidently is not a different person. It is you after enough practice. That version already exists. It is waiting inside the repetitions you have not done yet. It is waiting inside the 10 minutes you keep putting off until tomorrow. Today, tomorrow becomes now. You have everything you need. You have a method. You have a practice partner available right now for free whenever you open your phone. You have 7 clear ways to train. All you need to do is a start. So here is what I want you to do. Right now, before this video ends, open ChatGPT. Write 5 sentences about your day. Ask for corrections. Read them out loud. That is your first rep. Not tomorrow, now. If this lesson helped you, please leave a comment below and tell me which method you are going to try first. Your answer might inspire someone else who is watching and is still deciding. And if you know someone who has been struggling, with Speaking English, share this video with them. Sometimes one lesson at a time is all it takes to change direction. Thank you for listening today. Keep showing up every day and your English will grow with you. See you in the next lesson.